On this episode of Mom Sipping Sangria,
you see people wanting to take a more integrative, natural approach to their healthcare, and quality essential oils are 100% a beautiful way to do that.
I'm good. Let's do it.
Welcome, moms and non-moms, to Mom Sipping Sangria. I'm Sheila Walsh, along with the lovely and talented Anita Reynolds MacArthur.
Hello.
Hello. And on this episode, we will be joined by holistic health educator Tracy Witney, who will be actually joining us very shortly for the entire episode. We're really excited about that. But before we get, Tracy in here, Anita, what has been happening? It's just time's flying. It's been a month already.
I guess probably the biggest thing that's been going on the last little bit is that Ian and I were able to finally get our first COVID shot. Woohoo!
Yay! Greg and me too!
Oh, awesome. And I see your eyeballs are still in place.
Yeah. And you don't have another, neck growing out of your neck, so we're good.
No, knuckles are not dragging on the floor. Doing good.
They were tough to get these appointments though, weren't they? I mean, my gosh.
Yeah. What we did was we had all the kids with their computers and ourselves sitting around the dining room table. And when we were allowed to get on, it was like 1, 2, 3, go. And whoever was able to get on first, it was like, oh my gosh, a little while ago, that's what we used to do with concerts. We'd all have our devices out and we'd be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Who's getting on first? And it's like, okay, now we're doing this with COVID vaccines.
That is a fantastic strategy. We were actually lucky enough because my brother-in-law, Dave, remember Anne, my sister, who told me I was the devil child when we were young. So this is her husband, Dave. He actually booked our appointments for us. He was booking his and managed to think of us. So God love Dave. And it's great, right? I know we still have to exercise extreme caution, but at least you feel a little bit relieved, right? That's the main thing.
Oh, so. For sure. At least it started, right? It's like it's getting to the masses now, finally.
It has started. We are back in lockdown in this part of the world. And, I think we've learned enough from Dr. Sharma and Dr. Carew, who we've had on, that feeling frustrated about COVID is completely natural. A good swear word here and there is something that helps. What's your favorite swear word? Insert your favorite swear word here. Go ahead, say it.
Are you going to be bleeping this?
Yeah, I'll bleep it.
Okay, you better be bleeping
I'll bleep it. I'll bleep it, I promise.
I'll put it on the website, but, no. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, that's staying.
Don't
worry. Don't worry. No. You know what? We will.
Okay, what's yours?
You know what? It depends how angry I am. But right now, it's motherfucker. And the reason why we are swearing is because, this is just, just when you think you're getting better, it's kind of 2 steps back. And so we need some calm, Anita, to get us through this latest round of battle with COVID. I looked up fruits to help with anxiety. Blueberries kept on coming up because they are packed with vitamin C, and apparently vitamin C is good for anxiety and stress. So long story short, on momsippingsangria.com, you will find a fuck this man sangria that has lots of blueberries in it. Okay?
Sheila.
Yep. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. I don't care anymore. That's it.
We will be blooping these.
We will. Yes.
All right. Well, then, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will get the F This Man Sangria coming right to your email.
Yes, you will.
Now, if drinking sangrias and swearing is not helping you get through this time, perhaps aromatherapy will do the trick. Tracy Witney is a holistic educator who specializes in essential oils. She's also the founder of the Essential Wave. She's a yoga teacher who thrives on mindfulness and living a healthy lifestyle. And she is a wife and mom to 2 sweet girls.
Tracy Witney, so very nice to have you join us on Mom Sipping Sangria.
Thank you so much, ladies. I am so excited to be here this evening, have a couple of laughs, and hopefully give some people some pointers that will help their mental health, overall health, and just feel a little bit lighter and happier.
Good Lord, we need that. And this is the first time I've actually met you, Tracy, and I'm seeing you over the camera. What did I say, Anita?
just so healthy.
Yeah, she looks so
Completely
healthy.
health.
I'm like, wow, she's a healthy looking person. Just want to say though, when I was, I do some research on guests, Tracy, and I was putting in Tracy Witney, and we have to clarify that for Sidney Sheldon fans, the author, Tracy is not the same Tracy Witney from the books. She is from the essentialwave.com. Just like people think I'm Sheila Walsh, the gospel singer. That's a whole other story. You are not Tracy Witney from the Sidney Sheldon novels. So welcome, Tracy. Before we get into all the wonderful things you are bringing to the table today, let's talk a little bit about you. You were a full-time project manager, and now you dedicate your time to being a holistic health educator. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's an interesting journey, and I'll give you kind of the Coles notes of it. But basically, when I was on my second maternity leave with my daughter, Taylor, I discovered essential oils, and I became completely captivated by how I could use them to really make simple swaps in our home, have natural solutions. I wasn't sleeping at the time, neither was my 3-month-old baby. So when it was time for me to head back to the workforce, I really couldn't shake this desire to help bring this empowerment to other families, other mothers. So I continued to what I would call side hustle my business for the following 3 years with the intention that I would always walk away from my corporate job to really create a lifestyle of financial and time freedom so I could show up and serve myself, my family, do the things that we love. And well, I just stuck true to that dream. And here I am today.
That's amazing. That's so inspiring. We have so much we want to talk to you about, but we're going to start with talking to you about essential oils. If we look at essential oils through the lens of someone who has heard about essential oils, but doesn't really know the first thing about them, where do you start?
Well, let's just start with what an essential oil is. So an essential oil is a natural aromatic compound found in plants. So it typically comes from roots, flower petals, barks of trees, even peels from citrus oils. Typically, they're steam distilled, and then the oil is separated from the water, and then it's bottled up for people to consume or use however they'd like. And they're extremely powerful. There's actually a lot of research that shows they're about 50 to 70 times more potent than dried herbs. So you only need a tiny little amount of essential oil to use it in your daily practice. And there's 3 different ways that you can use essential oil. So aromatically in the diffuser, topically for targeted support to deal with things like tension or digestive discomfort. And if you're using a quality brand of essential oil, they're also safe for internal use, some of them.
Yeah, I guess like something like lemon, peppermint, you can use those because we have that in our tea and drinks anyway. So, and we'll come back to that. But, they're not a new thing. They've been around forever. I'm presuming you would know more about that. But are there some examples that you can share where they are used and we might not even realize it? So for people who are saying, oh, no, essential oil is not for me, I don't understand it, but they're actually using it every day. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, essential oils have been used for a very long time. They date back to 3500 BC. The Egyptians were using them for health purposes, cosmetic purposes, and religious purposes. They're referenced in the Bible, and they were even used in the 1940s to support soldiers through war. In modern day, we definitely see essential oils used in food products. So flavorings, that would be one way that people are definitely interacting with essential oils on a daily basis, maybe in your gum, or any kind of sweetener or flavors. Most people don't realize that ibuprofen is derived many times from wintergreen. Well, wintergreen is an essential oil that you can utilize. But I think overall, people's notion of essential oils are maybe somewhat skewed, or they have this idea of aromas and fragrances and scents. And if you're using quality essential oils, your interaction with them may be different than what your ideology of them is, because they do have many therapeutic benefits. And I think you need to sort of lift your lid and really dig into some research and science to look at what are they really, where's the best place to source them from, and how can they benefit your health? Because there are a ton of benefits, as history shows us. And in the last, century, we've really moved away from using them as our primary mode of healthcare. But in the last decade or so, you see people wanting to take a more integrative, natural approach to their healthcare, and quality essential oils are 100% a beautiful way to do that for both your mind and your physical health.
So now, what are some of the benefits of essential oils? Like, why do they work? What do they stimulate in us to cause a reaction?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a loaded question. I am not a science geek, but I'm happy to talk at like the basics of them. Essential oils are small in their molecular structure, they're fat soluble, and they can penetrate inside of our cell membranes. And this is the big one right here, because our cells are our lifeline. They keep us healthy. We want to have healthy cells. It's going to help promote vitality and longevity in the way that we live and the way we look and in the way we feel. And so when we can use essential oils to help support our cellular health, this is where we see most of the benefits coming from.
And I guess especially now during lockdown, there's anxiety and you can use them for all sorts of calm, boosting immunity. You really, if you've never experienced them or investigated them up until now, maybe now is the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a minute just about mental health and aromatherapy, because I'm a huge advocate for this. And the way that essential oils work with our limbic system is pretty incredible. And the science that you can find on this is pretty life altering. I know people who are skeptical, once they start to look at the real science and research behind this, just in the way that our body functions, it can really make believers out of people. Our sense of smell is extremely powerful. So when you're smelling something in, you can be reminded of a memory. It can evoke a feeling. And that's because when we are smelling something in, it gets processed through our olfactory bulb and goes into our limbic system. And our limbic system is our mood control center of our brain. So this is where we are immediately feeling a response. And that's coming from our neurological function and our transmitters in our brain. So it can help us feel calm or energized. And depending on which oils you use, you can evoke different moods. So having a diffuser in your home is really, really supportive for your mental health, to help ease anxious feelings and kind of just create a high vibe, positive space.
Awesome. So there are good quality oils and there are bad quality oils. And how do you know the difference? I mean, you can buy them pretty much anywhere. What qualifies as all natural when we read it on the label?
Well, first off, I'm going to tell you, don't buy your oils at a gas station. I literally
Is that a thing?
Yes. I saw this the other day and I literally couldn't believe it, because you get what you pay for when it comes to essential oils. When it comes to the essential oil regulation in the industry, it's kind of a hot topic because so many people are utilizing them to support their health. But what they don't realize is that there really is limited regulation on oils so that they can all read 100% natural or pure. So there's a lot of misguided consumerism happening here. So some of the things that you can look for to avoid fragrances and fillers and synthetic toxins in your essential oils is look at the science and testing that the company is doing. You want to ensure that there's visibility in where the oils are sourced, what tests that they do on the oils before they come into your home or go to market, and even afterwards. I think a good sign of quality is if it's safe to ingest. Now, not all essential oils are safe to ingest, but if a company is making a claim that you can put a drop of lemon in your water, it's very likely that they've done their due diligence to ensure that they're getting quality oils to you. And like I said, price. I have seen a lot of people come to me saying, oh, well, I can get frankincense for $5. And I said, that's not frankincense. Because if you're procuring quality oils, you're going to have to pay a price. Frankincense, for example, is a very rare essential oil that comes from a rare tree that is, originates in Somalia. You're not going to be able to purchase that for $5 and feel the therapeutic benefits from it.
At the gas station. I'm just in my head. I'm like, pack of smokes, fill her up and give me some frankincense. I totally see that being a thing, a problem. Okay, good. So we want to make sure we know where it's sourced, tested, and ingesting is a good marker.
Yes.
Very good. I'm actually diffusing frankincense as we speak. I love the scent of it. I really do. And it's not overwhelming, and it's nice and calming. It's a great smell.
You know what? That is actually has to be, and I've told Tracy this before, it is my ultimate favorite go-to oil. And yes, it is one of the more expensive ones, but at the same time, I inhale that in the morning and it clears my mind. It is my go-to. I use it on my skin at night. I have rosacea and it helps to relieve it brings calmness to my skin and helps rejuvenate it. Like, this oil is just absolutely incredible. It's just my go-to. So I'm glad you brought that one up, Tracy.
And you didn't buy it at the grocery store or the...
I did not buy it at the
gas
grocery
station. Tracy, no, Nita was just saying she uses it on her skin, and we know she's allergic to a lot of things, including bananas. So how safe is it? Can everyone use it? Like, is it one of those things you have to kind of test and then just not use, or You
mean oils in general?
Oils in
right?
general, yeah. For if you have pets, if you have babies around you, people who are on prescriptions, like...
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, it comes down to quality. If you're using quality oils, it's very likely that you'll be able to use them and feel some form of benefit from them. I do really like to educate people on the how to safely and properly use essential oils for all ages, including pets. They are safe for pets. The one I would say that you would want to avoid around pets, cats and dogs specifically, would be tea tree essential oil. That can be quite toxic to them if ingested. But diffusing quality oils in the space of your pets is completely safe. Many of them love it. My brother has a boxer, and we often find Roxy the boxer hovered over the diffuser. She loves lavender on her paws and pads of her feet to help ease kind of that hyperness that boxers are known for. And then in terms of babies and the elderly, dilution is everything. If you're going to apply essential oils topically on the skin, you just want to dilute them a little bit with some carrier oil, so coconut oil or jojoba oil. If you're treating anything like pain or inflammation, or even, crying babies and teething, you can still use essential oils. You're just going to dilute it according to their weight so that it's not as strong, because they're so potent and powerful.
Wonderful. So if you're going to start small and purchase a few essential oils from a reputable maker, and we know you are with doTERRA oils, and we all use those doTERRA oils. We love them so much.
Those, yeah.
What top 5 should everyone have, and why?
Oh my gosh, this is a really great question. I would say the trio that everyone should have to start off is lemon, peppermint, and lavender. You can do so many things with those oils. And then my top 2 to add to that would probably be frankincense for sure. Oh gosh, Anita, how can I choose 5? You know,
keep going. How about top 10?
I'm going to say rose, frankincense and rose, lemon, peppermint, and lavender. And the reason why I say rose is probably many people aren't familiar with using that essential oil, but it's the highest vibration essential oil. So if you're feeling low or you're feeling kind of stuck in a rut, which I know many people maybe are feeling right now, it really just helps uplift your soul. It has so many health and healing benefits from a cellular level. It's great for your immune function, and it is the best oil for skincare. So you both mentioned my healthy glow. That comes from my rose oil, and I put it on my face every single day.
Very good. That is the secret. Okay, now we know. You also practice and teach yoga, and you use essential oils when doing yoga, which sounds like a great idea. I never even thought of that, but why do oils and yoga or meditation even mix well together?
Well, Sheila, you have to come to one of my classes. If you've never even pondered this idea, you better show up at the next class.
It's a date.
Okay, perfect. And you'll get to see and feel the difference that incorporating essential oils can really bring to your practice. Most people either love yoga or they hate it. It's very rare that you're going to find someone who is in the middle. And it's because I really think that many people are go, 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 busy all the time. And they're just not trained to sit in stillness. And that is actually the whole reason why we need to practice yoga. And that's the whole reason why I got into it. Because I am an overachiever and always driven and always going. And I needed to balance my scales. And so I had to learn how to find softness through my yoga practice. But I love yoga because it really just allows one to have time for personal reflection, presence, connection, taking a deep breath. I would love for all of the listeners to just stop right now even and take a nice deep breath in and out. Right?
Feel better.
Already.
It feels good. It feels good to do that. And so when you sit down at your yoga practice and your mind is wandering and you really struggle to tap into that present moment, when you use an essential oil, because of the way it works with our limbic system, it's like propelling you to the finish line before you even started. It really just allows you to get present, to tap into your senses. And that's a really big thing that you can do to help support yourself in a yoga practice. Just sitting there in silence and focusing on your five senses. What can you smell? What can you see? What can you hear? That's a great way to find softness and really just connect to yourself through your yoga practice. And that's why I love to incorporate essential oils into them.
That sounds like a great idea. And you do these classes virtually on the essentialwave.com, correct?
Yep, you can definitely hit up the essentialwave.com to see my continuing education events. I do yoga classes on a monthly basis, as well as oil education classes on various topics to support wellness.
Amazing. And I'm just going to add to what you were saying. And Anita, I know you're like this too. And we're all moms, right? Tracy, you have little ones. SK in grade 1. So you really need these breaks. I know that being driven and ambitious, that I was actually given that as a prescription way back, like 25 years ago. Try yoga. And I'll tell you, the first time I tried it, you're right. Your mind is going. It's like, oh, I could be doing something else. I'm almost like tapping my fingers. Okay, I'm breathing. And now it's just amazing. I'm so glad that yoga is out there for people who need it. So again, I guess the point is that if people are busy or anxious and they try it and they're like, this isn't for me, I can't quiet my mind, you can learn to do that. And I guess, like you said, the oils are going to help with the acceleration of that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why they call it a yoga practice, because it takes practice. It took me a very long time to practice yoga, to kind of create my craft to where I am today. One of the biggest gifts I gave myself was last January. I up and left my family for 3 weeks. And I did my yoga teacher training in Costa Rica. And it was so beautiful. But just to take that time for myself, especially after becoming a mother and kind of losing my identity a bit in all things, caring for my kids first, putting, my side business as a priority, managing my home, my relationships, everything. And so to take that space to really learn a practice of yoga and learn the way that I could feel from taking that time, that really just elevated my life. But it does take time, and it takes devotion and dedication.
Amazing. Oh, that sounds dreamy. 3 weeks in Costa Rica doing yoga. Good for you. That's amazing that you took that journey. So this has been great. And everything you need to know about Tracy and essential oils, including the brand she works with, which is doTERRA, yoga, etc., will be up on our website, momsippingsangria.com.
And that's where you can sign up for our newsletter and have it delivered contactless right to your inbox. Tracy is going to stick around for the rest of the episode. We will be right back with Tracy Witney.
Do you want to know more about our fantastic guest, Tracy Witney? Then visit her on Instagram at The Essential Wave, or visit her website, theessentialwave.com. All right, it's time for Fave Finds and Raise a Glass or Take a Pass. Let's start there. Toasting our sangria to someone or something great, or perhaps we toss a sangria over one's head for something not so great. Tracy Witney, guests first. Is there someone or something you would like to raise a sangria to?
I would just like to raise a glass to all the parents who are surviving lockdown, wearing so many hats of teacher and parent and employee, because it is not an easy juggle, and I for sure know it. So I just want to raise a glass and acknowledge everyone who is doing their best to keep everything afloat in this trying time.
Raising a glass to that too.
Mm-hmm. Is there something you'd like to toss a glass to, or are you going to leave it there?
I'm going to leave it there because I like to just have a positive note. But there are definitely a couple of things I could toss to, but we'll just leave it at that place of positivity.
We don't want to take that nice happy glow from her face, Anita.
Yes.
What about you, Anita?
All right. Well, I am going to toss a glass. And then I'll raise a glass. But it's not to a person. It's just tossing a glass to having to file taxes. Oh my gosh, I hate this time of year. But anyways, it is done. Phew. So I'm tossing that out. And I'm going to raise a glass to my 16-year-old son, Hayden, for creating and launching his first song out into the world on SoundCloud.
Yay!
He was so cute. He came to me like the night before and said, he's got a really deep voice now. But he's like, Mom, I have something I want you to listen to. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I did a song. I'm like, what do you mean you did a song? So he's like, I wrote it, I put it together, recorded it, and it's going to be launched on SoundCloud that night or whatever. So I was like, oh, all right. And I listened to it, and I have to tell you guys, it was such an uplifting song. And I'm like, what? Like, this was produced during COVID, and he came out with something that was like sunshiny almost. I was so proud of that. So I'm raising a glass to him.
Cool.
I love that.
Yeah. So we're going to have to listen on SoundCloud. Are you going to put that in the newsletter? Because I'd love to be able to listen to that.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good for you, Hayden. Maybe we're going to be, in the presence of greatness one day, and he'll be walking to the, the Juno stage and getting his award and thanking his
I know that
mama.
would be his, that's his little dream anyways.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
I keep saying backup plan.
Plan B? What's plan B?
And how about you, Sheila?
Yeah, you know what? I discovered this guy a while ago. I'm not quite sure how. I think I saw it on a Good News story, but I love this guy. His name is Gurdeep Pander of Yukon, and Gurdeep is a dance teacher who specializes in Bhangra dancing, and he leads dance lessons from these gorgeous spots in the Yukon, and he is the most happy, uplifting guy. The dance is a good workout, and you can't help but smile. It is so awesome. So I'm raising a glass to him and anyone else who goes above and beyond, just does stuff for free because they just want to spread joy and love to the world. And, that's, I strongly encourage, if you're, feeling a little sad, or just, throw gurdeep.ca on and do some dancing and watch his smile is infectious. So
awesome.
So we want to also toast a few of our fave finds, things we love and want to share with you just because we love and want to share them with you. 100% sponsor free. Miss Anita.
Okay, so this time, since we're getting into the warmer weather, I am giving a shout out to these flip-flops. It's a brand that I cannot live without. And I'm starting to tell my clients that I have, my Reiki clients, to use them as well. So like I had plantar fasciitis, like heel pain. And if you've ever had it, it is crazy. Your heels burn. It's an inflammation, tissue related, yada, yada. Anyways, I had a trip coming up a few years ago going to Boston, and I was like, I don't know how it's a walking city. Like, how the heck am I going to do this? And a friend of mine was like, come with me. We were going to go get these flip-flops. And I was like, flip-flops? I don't know about that. Anyway, they saved my feet. I was doing 20,000 steps a day. I've worn them in Boston. I've worn them in New York City. I took them to Disney World. These things have saved my feet. So those are the ones I'm going with.
I want a pair. Okay, so that's going to be
You're going to have to check the website.
That's going to be on momsipping.com.
And how about you, Tracy?
I have to say, for Christmas, my husband got me a Soda Stream, and I absolutely fell in love with this. I don't know how I lived without it, to be honest, because, I think one of the things that has happened in society as cause of the lockdown is people overindulging, and I'm totally down.
What do you mean?
As Sheila raises a glass of wine.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead with the Soda Stream.
So funny. No, I love it. Who doesn't like to have a glass of wine or have a drink to unwind or just, celebrate a special moment? But what I have seen a lot in my community is people relying really heavily on alcohol to just deal and cope. And I think, what a great idea to just get a Soda Stream, put some ingestible essential oils like your grapefruit or your lemon in it, and it feels like a special little treat. and it's healthy. So I really love that. And I can't ever imagine going without my Soda Stream.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm going to, we have a Soda Stream and I haven't put those drops in there. Tracy.
Oh, girl, I just changed your life.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
I actually had that down as a gift idea for my son, Miles, and he doesn't listen to this. So, what 20-year-old son is going to listen to mom sipping sangria? So as I can still give it to him. But so you both would recommend that? Because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if he's going to use it. But yeah?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it.
Cool.
I make my husband be the bartender, though. I don't think I've ever actually worked that machine myself. I'm just like, honey, I really could use a soda.
And the great thing with them is you don't have to plug them in. So you can put them wherever you want. They don't have to be close to an outlet or anything. Yeah, it's really cool. There's no batteries or anything.
Okay, so that's really good to know. My fave find this time around, well, you know how, I don't know about you guys, but I did have a hair appointment lined up. Finally, like, oh my God, I don't know if you can see it, but like normally it's not ever this long. And of course the latest shutdown canceled that appointment. I miss you, Rob. So what I do if I'm in desperate need of a haircut is I switch up the products, right? So I found a great shampoo and conditioner that actually feeds your hair. And it has brought it back to life. It's given a little bit more of a bounce. So that is what my fave find is this episode. And that too will be on our website and in our newsletter. So you can find all of our fave finds. Head on over to momsippingsangria.com. That's where they will be. And to all those people, places, and things, we raise a glass. And to you as well. Cheers.
Cheers. We've come to the part of the show which we call the Sangria Chronicles, featuring good news stories only that will warm your heart. Sheila, you have a good news story for us this time.
I do. This comes from Blog.to. I don't know if you guys know about this digital publication. I love it. And they have posted a volunteer page to help out during spring here in Toronto. And I'm sure, wherever you are listening to us, there are going to be opportunities like this in your area. But in a time where we all feel kind of lost and maybe a little helpless with COVID and not being able to do what we normally would do, these are ways to give back and feel like you are contributing. And, they say volunteer makes you feel better about your situation. So maybe that's something that you'd like to explore. Here are just a few that Blog.to came up with. There's something called the Bike Brigade. So if you'd like to cycle, they're asking for volunteer cyclists to help deliver groceries to those in need. Zoomies, which you can sign up to help walk healthcare workers' dogs. Because they're working their butts off and they're not home for 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And if they have pets, these animals are in need of help. So they will, So, or even seniors or anyone who can't get out right now. And, Tracy mentioned this, the last segment. If you've been enjoying canned beverages a little more than usual since the pandemic, your empties can help a Toronto cat or kitten via tiny purring rescue. So those are just three of several, looking for a few hours of your time to help out those who need your help. And that's good news that there are things you can do to make other people feel better, which in turn will, make yourself feel better too.
Absolutely. That's really cool. I hadn't heard about the tiny purring rescue. Not that we have a ton of canned beverages around, but I'm going to keep that one in mind. There are so many good people and stories out there. Feel free to share yours. Visit momsippingsangria.com.
We have come to the part of the show called Spill the Sangria, where we dish out funny or embarrassing stories to make, you feel worse about yourself, but all of us feel way better about ourselves. And we're going to shine a light on our VIP guest, Tracy Witney. And Tracy, I understand you do have a sangria to spill for us.
I do. And you know what? I'm going into the archives for this one. But it's still, to this day, it probably happened 13 or so years ago. It still gets me every time. So fun fact, my husband is a twin and we met in university. And when we started dating, I couldn't tell the difference between him and his brother.
Oh, man.
Unless
I see where this is going.
Unless they were side by side. It was very tricky. They were both on like these starving student diets. So they just they're fraternal twins, but they looked identical. And unless they were standing side by side, I couldn't tell the difference until I really got to know my husband, Sean, a few months later. So we were out one night at a social, and I wandered up to my now brother-in-law, Kyle, with my dreamy eyes and just kind of laid into him. And he had to stop me and say, Tracy, Sean is over there. And I was mortified, you guys, just mortified. But I totally went up to my brother-in-law, ready to just shove my tongue down his throat. And he had to put up the hand and say, no, thank you.
What a noble man to stop you, too.
Yeah. Well, that's there's a twin bond there.
Right.
You can't mess with that.
You cannot mess with that. Oh, my gosh. I feel for you. I can actually see that playing out in a movie.
Yeah, it still haunts me to this day.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you're such a good sport, Tracy. That's one for the books for sure.
And cheers to Kyle and Sean.
Yeah, no kidding. So we want to thank Tracy Witney for joining us. Tracy is the founder of the Essential Wave. She's a holistic health educator who specializes in essential oils, yoga, and mindfulness. You can find her at theessentialwave.com and, of course, Instagram, The Essential Wave. And we'll put that all up on our website. Thanks for letting us hang out with you. And before we go, we will leave you to sip on this question. So, Sheila, what do you have for us to ponder?
Okay, I have something real good. The question for this episode is, when was the last time you wore a wired bra? So, Anita, look at your face. Anita put together very carefully this beautiful, when was the last time you were starstruck?
That is not one of the questions on our list.
Oh, okay, I'll go. Well, I was thinking about that as I have, burned all my wired bras.
I love that question so much because the truth is, who's even wearing a bra
anymore? Right? So I was
God.
thinking of going with one with the list, Anita, but then I thought, what?
I love it. That's great. But you took me totally off guard because it's not one of the questions.
Anita I was looking at her because, this is a podcast, but when we record, we look at each other. So I'm looking at Anita and she just was sitting there staring down. I think it took a couple of minutes.
My mind was trying to calibrate. I don't remember that being one of our questions.
Okay, well, now that we are going to use it, do tell, ladies.
Yes. All right. Well, for me, want. It's all the time. These suckers need to be held in. I'm sorry, but COVID or no COVID, my family deserves me to be holding these things up.
You mean you're not running around crossing your arms as you go down the stairs?
Hell no.
That would be me, Sheila.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I can't go back. I cannot go back to the wired bras because I have to share with you. You know what? Next episode, Faye finds I found a few that actually hold in the girls and, they're wireless. So it's since we don't really have
they make you look like you've got a bum. I hate that.
That is a wrap. Happy May, everyone. Happy birthday, Miles and Ava. Happy Mother's Day. And to anyone else, if you're celebrating anything in May, happy. Oh, what are you celebrating? Are you celebrating something, Tracy?
Yes, I'm celebrating my 35th birthday on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, wonderful. Happy Cinco de Mayo birthday.
Thank you.
Until next time, have a good one. Visit our website to sign up for our newsletter and for links to all of our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We are Mom Sipping Sangria. Cheers and burn that bra. Don't be scared by the oracle. just before we started to record, I had this thing on, right? This sun. Do you see the light up? It's the sun, whatever it is, that sun lamp, to give me some vitamin, whatever the hell it gives me. Mom Sipping Sangria is produced by Elm Podcasting. Visit elmpodcasting.com for more information.
Cha-cha-cha. Woohoo. Hello.